let's start off today talking about our mentor agreement. Now, you guys might just be using me for all your expert help this semester or next semester, and that's totally cool. You might occasionally be asking another professor a question or two here or there. That's totally cool. What I'm talking about in this context is someone that you're more consistently going to that's not me. Okay? This could be a Park Service scientist. This could be another faculty member, whoever else that might be helping you with the sort of the meat of your project, the content of your project, right? That's who a mentor is. So let's have a look at this. All right, let me step back also before we start this to say that this is to protect you. Okay? This is to protect you and protect our partners, the folks that are devoting their time to helping you guys. So I've evolved this over the years for reasons. Almost all of our interactions are great and all good and all phantasmagorical. But every once in a while we sometimes have a little issue. So the idea is this is a shield. This is an insurance policy to make sure that nothing gets too off the track, right? So it's not a stressful thing, but if you do have one of these additional experts that's helping you, you need to complete one of these guys, okay, in the next couple weeks. So let's talk about what it is. So this is an agreement. For the purposes of our class, I'm going to call this other person a research mentor, and you guys are the researcher. Cool? So it gets confusing, so I just picked this language. So I'm your advisor, okay? So there we go. So for some of you, I'm your advisor and your mentor, in which case you don't need to complete this. Everybody else needs to complete one of these. So this is basically a blank thing. You're going to go fill this out. You're going to fill this out. You might take a stab at it yourself, but you're going to fill this out with your collaborator, with your mentor. Okay? Let's have a look at what this is. So you're going to at periodic points throughout this document, there's a blank, right? That blank basically means something you should put in there. So in this case, it says, so you're going to do some stuff by November 1, right? In some cases, maybe you guys are studying the migratory behavior of spadefoot toads or something, and they don't really do their due until typically December 15th or something, right? Then you could put in an alternate date. Okay, we're going to start off by you're going to tell me this person's name and their best contact number, and then who they work for, Cal State Channel Islands or Channel Islands National Park or whatever the dealio is, etc. Your name and your contact info, and then my info is down here, right? So at the end of this, everybody will be able to reach everybody if anybody has a question. Okay, then you're going to have some goals for your project, right? I want to look at understand the expansion of ironwood on Santa Rosa Island or something. Okay? So you're going to fill these goals out. I'd like to do this. The more specific, the better. Then we get onto the deliverable category. And this is where we've had the most issues in past when we have had issues. So again, this is designed to not cause you any problems. So here we go. Here's the deliverable. That means the thing you're going to give to your mentor. So all of you guys are producing a thesis, the written document, and a poster, right? A more visual oriented a version of your research. The default is you're going to give your mentor electronic copies of those things. Maybe she or he wants a printed version, right? We could swing that, right? You can swing that. You can take care of that. Not a big deal. But to be clear, we start with electronic. Sometimes we've had confusion where people are like, so where's the poster you're supposed to give me? I'm like, poster? No, I gave you the PDF of it, right? So, and the date is it's after the end of the semester, right? So you're going to turn your stuff. This is for next semester, so we don't have the dates yet. But suffice it to say, you're going to finish this before the end, but this gives you a little bit of extra time to breathe and sleep for a couple days before you give the final thing to your partner. Now, here's 1, 2. There might be additional deliverables that they might ask of you. So they might say, hey, I need the data by January 15th or something else. Or you know what, we're doing a conference presentation in November, so I need a picture of you out in Santa Rosa doing some field work. So can you send that to me by whatever, November 1 or something, right? All good. And not that something can't come up and you guys might not be able to discuss something and modify some things should the need arise, but this makes sure that we're all clear so that they're not expecting you to be, so sometimes somebody's like, hey, so can you come help us out with a presentation? Oh, sure, I can go, because you want to make that person happy, right? And you kind of go, and they're like, okay, thanks. Hey, so you know what? So next weekend, can you come out with another one? Okay, I'll do that. And then, 2 weeks later, hey, we got another one, right? And so this is to prevent that, right? So if you want to be cool and you want to help them out, totally. But this says, you know what? I'm really busy with this other stuff, so that's not really part of the contract, right? So you can fall back on this, right? You can fall back on this that, sorry, I can't quite do that. So we always want to be a good colleague, we always want to be a good collaborator, but I don't want you guys getting abused, as it were, right? Okay, and again, you guys might go back and forth and adjust this a little before you do the final contract signing. And so the idea here is, hey, this is gonna be a collaboration up to mid-May, right? Maybe it's going to end earlier. Maybe this person is going to go travel for 3 months and they're leaving on April 1st or something, in which case you'd say, okay, we're going to dissolve our formal partnership on April 1 or something like that. So again, you can modify that. You need to have at least 3 meetings with your mentor over the course of this semester or next semester. That's face-to-face. That's not Skype. That's not talking on the phone. That's not passing each other in the store. That's actual time that you guys have set aside for you guys to go and physically meet. Now, 3 times is not a lot, right? Really in the grand scheme of things. But sometimes our mentors are really busy, right? Sometimes they're physically on the islands for a while. Sometimes they're traveling back to DC or they're what have you. So a minimum of 3 is a reasonable expectation. Can you guys do more? Of course. I'd love it if you guys interacted more and maybe had a weekly meeting or whatever, but the reality is that's not going to work for everybody most of the time. So at a minimum 3. So here I've given you guys some target ranges. So that first one has to happen basically around now, right? Early fall. You're getting in the project, you're going to sit down with him or her, you're going to chat about stuff, you're going to sort of put the borders on this project that you're working on. And then just after you've started collecting data. So again, for some of you guys, maybe you're going to start in early December. Some of you are going to start in maybe, hopefully not later than the start of January. But the idea is go out and collect some stuff, and you'll probably screw it up. You'll probably have a problem. You'll probably realize, oh my gosh, you should also be counting this thing. And that's totally natural. It's all good. No need to be stressed. That's the research process. But you're going to try it for a bit, and then you're probably going to have some questions. Ooh, I don't know how to identify this fern versus that fern or whatever. And so that next meeting is you're going to go, look, I started doing this. I think we should modify this and do this, and you can have that kind of intellectual back and forth, right? And then the third one is when you're starting to get hardcore into your analyses. So you're starting to try to do some statistics, starting to look at this, starting to look at that. I wonder how I should set this up, right? That's another place that they can help you. Again, I can help you for all this as well, but for the specific content, those folks may well know more than me about that particular system. So start with them, and you can always come and ask me additional questions. Make sense? Okay. And then when we're done with that, you're gonna after you guys have come to agreement about the dates and the deliverables and all this and that, you're gonna sign it, and your mentor is gonna sign it, all right? And then you're gonna give it to me. So now we all have seen this. We all have agreed to it. So that's the only part you have to turn. Here above is the only part you have to turn in. There's an extra 2 pages though. So let's scroll down here. This is not attacking anybody. We're not trying to get anybody in trouble or anything like that. But at the end of not the end of this semester, but the end of next semester, at the end of the school year, I want some feedback. Was this mentor a helpful mentor? Right? And I want some feedback about you from them, right? Did you totally slack off? Did you, all that kind of stuff. So I do not look at these until after the grading's all done. Don't look at them until the summertime. But this just gives me feedback how to adjust and make Capstone better. It also tells me, hey, were these guys a good advisor? So unlike most of our evaluations, this one, by definition, it can't be anonymous, right? I need to know who we're talking about here. But again, it's not an aggressive thing. It's rather just to make sure we're doing the right thing. But you need to show this to them so they get it, right? Again, these two sheets aren't going to be being turned in, but just so it's not a surprise. Don't want to suddenly the last day of the semester, next semester, give them this thing and they're like, what? Will you evaluate me? Will you think I was a bad advisor or something? That's not the point at all. Cool? So that's it. So that's our agreement. So I'm going to email these to you guys. I'll email this to you guys so you guys all have your own copy. There's some copies up here.